Hello again, Nissan Z fans. Today we have the Inno64 of the Z32. I believe this is their first casting of the Z32 series and came out in 2022. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want this model. It's just that one of my local dealers was clearing out some old inventory, so there was a deal where you get a blind box of an Inno, a Tarmac Works, and a, what was the other one? Hobby Japan. One of each of those brands for around $30. So that's cheaper than usual for an Inno. So that's why I got this. It was in a blind box, and I don't have this casting by these guys anyways. I generally don't like red though. Alright, so the cover is a little bit loose. Keep that in mind. If you care about this box, pretty plain. But it is licensed by Nissan, and it's got Aztec red for the color and extra wheels. So Inno's great in the fact with the non-racing liveries, they give you an extra set of wheels, which in this case are the original ones. Okay, it's kind of weird that they would not put the original ones on the model though. You know, these are like aftermarket rims. Well, anyways, you know what, maybe I should just wait, and I'm gonna put these on, then we'll look at those photos, right? So let's do this out of order. Let's look at the model first and then compare it to the pictures last. Standard base here, plastic, tampo printing of what the car is, so that's nice. And there's one screw holding the thing down. There's no sensitive parts on, nope, there is that. Oh, but I have to take it off anyways to get the wheels out of there. But this little photo etched piece of metal wiper blade, if I snag that thing, it's gone. That's why I usually don't take my Innos off the stands, but I don't like these wheels. Alright, well, before I remove those wheels, we might as well look at them. Maybe you do like them. Everyone has their own preferred choice. They're kind of like BBS wheels, you know, the mesh spokes. There's a red center cap, and they printed probably Z32. Let me zoom in on this rear one. That's this 4x magnification. I don't know what that says in there. It almost looks like EXC. But maybe there? Oh, maybe it says BBS. Yeah, maybe it's supposed to say BBS. You can clearly see this tire is messed up, but at 4x magnification you can also see my hands are extremely messed up. The tire tread blocks are obviously a bit large, but even at normal 1-to-1, they're really blocky, like a truck. So I don't know why they do this. You know, why wouldn't they just have smooth, non-tread showing on a road vehicle? Alright, are there brakes back there? That's the next question. I guess we'll get to that when I swap out the wheels. Never mind. There's no need to talk about that right now. So the red itself is not metallic. It's just a red. And so the reason why I don't like red is that's the majority of the paint rash I have in my collection, this color. But also red has a hard time, just like white and yellow, covering up the casting. So it's filling in the panel gaps a lot in order to hide those edges. Alright, well, Inno printed on a rubber molding, or actually that's a parting line on the real car. Yeah, that's for some sort of, maybe it's not a parting line, it's just a molded in ridge. No, it's not a ridge, it's an indented line. Groove, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a groove in the body of this vehicle. Wikipedia was saying this is one of the first cars designed with a CAD program. Alright, it doesn't tell me what CAD program though. The windows here, they have the black printing, molded details, nice enough. The door handles look realistic enough. That's it. Yeah, the fuel filler back there. This little reflector is raised, and then the separate side mirrors, and they have the little shiny sticker that literally reflects stuff. So that's good. Going to the front though. This is why I didn't want to really buy this casting. These are just painted on. I feel like those should be plastic. They're so big. Yeah, it's really weak. So at least this is a plastic lens, and behind it you can see there's a rectangle with a bulb, and over here a circular light. The Z badge is pretty good. I think there's actually a black line right here printed on, maybe. It's also concave, so it is a groove and there's black paint in it. There's a groove here, but it's just red. The wiper fluids have raised bumps, and unfortunately not enough black on that one. Now this one has molded in wiper blades, I think. Yeah, wow. So painted black. The vent details there are fine. We'll get to the interior and the top last, I guess. It's nice that there's something on the license plate. I wonder if, like, men in Japan have a hard time saying they own something called a Fairlady. I don't know. I don't think that would fly in America, at least. If you bought a car called the Pink Princess, would that sell well? I don't know. Just a random thought there. Okay, some groove details here. It's kind of hard to see because it's black, but yeah, there you go, the grill. And then these little vents have some black paint. Something went wrong here, though. Yeah, it's not so great. So there's a groove here as well. Alright, so for me, this is a detractor. I would not choose to buy this model on purpose because of this. I feel like it should be, plastic, and I know Inno can do it, but I think they kind of cheaped out. Or, well, you can only do so much with a budget. I would almost rather have these be plastic lights and forget the second set of wheels, if that would help even the budget out. This side, no fuel filler, but there's some sort of round thing here. Maybe there's like a retractable antenna or something. And there's a red reflector I didn't catch on the other side. Okay. Going around to the back, we got this pretty chunky wing. And the third brake light, I guess. Yeah, it is printed on there. It's hard to see red on red, but now the taillights do look quite nice. They're nice thick red plastic. They have the little printing here of a reflector. There's orange here. So red. They're definitely different colors. The twin turbo is nicely printed there. Nissan 300ZX. Oh, and the backup lights are quite clear, so that's a pretty realistic looking set of tail lamps. Nice to see something on the plate again. The exhausts are chromed plastic pieces and they have black in the middle there. Not so bad. I do feel like this rear wing is a bit bulky though. The side of this here. Well, you'll see it in the photos. And then I will say, this is a really nice wiper blade. It is floating. It's bent 90 degrees perpendicular to this. And this wind screen back here has really thin defroster lines. So you can still see the interior. So if you have to have defroster lines, I guess those are okay. I'd still rather just probably not even have them at all. So this one has the T-tops there, and you can see the little dots for the hinges there. And some black molding up there. And it's nice that we don't need a flashlight. I almost think this T-top is tinted, because look how much brighter it is through the windscreen there. So that's a nice touch. And then, yeah, nice molded details there. Black interior is probably accurate to a lot of these cars. Yeah, I think these rear windows also tinted. Not tinted. The +2. Is it +2, or maybe it's not a +2? No, I think it is +2 seating on this one. What do you know? What do you know? That's not common. It doesn't roll freely, but if this sort of stuff amuses you, there you go. Alright, just be careful about that wiper blade back there. So, is this a metal base? It's pretty cool to the touch. I think that might be a metal base. And then tells you what the car is, what scale. Doesn't give you a copyright date though. It would also be nice if this said Z32, because there was the Z31. An uglier Z in my opinion. Alright, so treads are okay, and maybe there are no brakes on this one. Oh no, that's stationary, right? So there must be a brake set there, but we're going to find out as I open this guy. Tells you what that belongs to. So I guess you could repaint this, but the photographs I show actually have a black interior. Oh, and this is nice. The actual instruments are there. So you can see pretty good instrument cluster there. Maybe it's a decal or something. Alright, so this does have brakes. They're just silver circles though. But I guess it's better than nothing. And what is going on here? This giant metal peg. I guess that must be pushing the interior piece upwards. Yeah, it's a rest for the interior. So now if we look at this second set of original wheels, so it doesn't have a second set of brakes, so naturally you're going to have to transfer these brakes over. Or are they even worth putting on? Because these hole openings are so thin. I don't know. Well, I'd be curious if these axles are identical. Yeah, they're flutes. Both of them are fluted. They're not knurled. Get some pliers here. Feel free to fast forward. That's pretty tight. Then we'll transfer this brake over, assuming it fits. Yeah, sorry. I guess you can see that there's a silver ring in there. Yeah, I mean, I guess it works. It's in there. So let's put that in there. Now, these are... No, I don't think they're directional wheels. I think it's one casting. They are swept wheels, but I don't think there's a left and right, or is there? No, there is. So I gotta look at these photographs here. So this is for the left side of the car. Which means this wheel should go on here. That's a really tight squeeze onto these axles, by the way. And you have to make sure. Oh, I see. So the brakes have a little notch, and they actually notch into the base here. They have nothing to do really with the, I'm sorry, they notch into the interior piece, not the metal base. What I don't recall is, I think the axle rests, never focuses. I think it rests on this shorter rectangle, and then that taller one, but thinner, is for the caliper notch. So I think I have that side in properly. So I think it's supposed to be like that. Alright, we'll have to get that to that later. So these wheels, I guess I'm not sure what I want to do with these. I don't really like them. I'm not sure if I'll put them on anything else because I just don't like the design of them. It's really hard to make mesh wheels look nice in 164, you know, because the spokes are so thin. I think it's actually probably better to use the pliers on both of them instead of trying to push the other wheel. So now I have to make sure this is facing the same direction, which I think it is. So this rear one I squeezed it on too tight, or yeah, the front axle width is actually different from the rear axle width. Even so, I think it's too tight. This is going to take time. I'll come back. Alright, so I've got the wheels on there. I actually ended up taping the axle in because it was really hard to keep them in place. So according to this is the photo I was looking at to align the orientation of the wheels. And I think it's matching. Okay. So you'll notice the rear wing on this one. It's not molded so much here on the outside, but this one is like a one flat surface. And then this one just has a totally different wing entirely. So I have a feeling they're going for the first picture here by my thumb, but it's not very good. And good old T-tops. Alright. So that's it for that. Let's pull out the spin coaster here. Take a look at a few other Nissan Zs. The first one I will look at here is the actual 300Z by Konami. And I swapped out the wheels because this thing had some horrible wheels on its own, but unfortunately the axle hole isn't very good on this. I think these actually might be Inno64 wheels. I could be wrong. Or Tarmac Works. They came from some sort of model. And I guess this one actually has a better rear wing if you look at it. It looks more like that first photograph I was talking about. But this thing has printed on taillights. It doesn't have the clear taillights. And then absolutely nothing. So that's really weak. It's an old model, yeah, but up until today it was probably the best 300Z32 I had. So there you go. It's molded in mirrors just sticking out of the cast, you know, Hot Wheels style, going right into the A-pillar. Alright, so I don't have any other Z32s, so here's a Kyosho of a racing car from 2006. So that's the Z35, I think. No, Z33 maybe? And this is another Z33 from 2006. So they're actually different castings, even though they're both Kyoshos. But they're actually different. Sorry, I lost focus. I was looking at the model, not the camera. But yeah, this one has a roof bulge here, different window molding, it's just different. So I like how this has a central wiper blade there, being a race car and all. Alright, let's see, let's go start going back in time. Here's an Aoshima Grachan, and I have some BNDS plastic wheels with some 3D printed brakes in there. Aoshima doesn't take credit for the stuff they design, but it's nice that it's screwed together, because I made the wheel swap pretty easy. It's a TLV of a 260 or a 280Z. It says S130, so I don't know what that is. Sorry. Boy, does this. Maybe it says on the model. I can't read that text, it's too small. I forget, you'll have to look up the review of that. I really wish the bases of these things are better described. I can't remember 1,000 vehicles, or thousands of vehicles. That's another Aoshima. The stock wheels, so they're kind of weak. Actually, they don't pass air, but they're really small diameter wheels, and it's got a Liberty Walk kit. But being the screwed together base, I repainted the interior of this one. This is a ZG240. Okay, this next one here is a Konami of a 240ZG. So the ZGs have these headlight covers. That's my understanding. Whereas a normal 240Z would not have the headlight covers. Here's a rally version of such, and this is by Greenlight. Yeah, alright, a 71 240Z. Another rally version by Dido, I think, if I recall. Yep. Dido. Only two more to go. This one here is a street version of a Konami branded S30. So, I don't know. Is that a 240? I assume that's probably a 240. And the very last one is another Konami. It is a Fairlady 2000, the SR3311. I think this is the very first of the Fairladies. So, this is probably the best 1/64 scale Z32, but it's still not a great model for me because of these lights in the front, you know. I do feel like Inno could have easily made those plastic, and if they were, that would be really great. I mean, everything else looks pretty good. The wheels look pretty similar. The taillights are fantastic. The separate chromed tail muffler pieces, the mirrors, the interior with the gauges. It's just these giant things here. It reminds me of like an Ignition model, their earlier models. Their NSX and like there's some other one where they just, oh, an RX-7, they just painted on the turn signals. It's not good for the price, I think. Well, anyways, if you ever actually own this car in real life, you pretty much have to get this. I know it came in with other colorways. I would avoid red myself unless you own that car for real, because it's gonna paint rash. I'm pretty sure of it. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep this model because I dislike these turn signals so much. We'll have to see. Alright, thanks, and I'll see you in the next Inno64 video.